start our program straight away. From South Africa, can you give us a word of prayer? Apostle Mandoro. Okay, it seems like the apostle is not yet here. Any volunteering? Okay, there are no volunteers as well. So I will ask Galax 831 if you can give us a prayer. Okay, what can you give permission to unmute so that our speakers can be able to pray? The apostle was praying but on mute. Please, host, can you give permission to unmute to people?
Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Apostle.
Shall we pray? Father, in the name of Jesus, we want to thank you, faithful God. We thank you, dear Master, for this meeting which we are about to start right now. We ask you, Holy Spirit of God, to intervene, Holy Spirit of God, in this precious meeting. In the name of Jesus, I pray, Holy Spirit of God, that you help us to come up with ideas that are constructive. I pray, dear Master, that you achieve our goals, oh God, through the discussion that we are going to have in this meeting. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray, dear Master, that you remember our nation, Zimbabwe. We pray, dear Master, that you help us to come up with solutions to heal our nation. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray, dear Master, for our leadership. Father God, we pray that you place our leadership on God, even as we put in our prayer and President Nelson Chamisa. We pray, Father God, for all working together with you. We pray, we speak the grace of God and the blessing of God upon all the programs that they are doing. In the name of Jesus Christ, we pray. We bless your holy name, Jehovah God. We say, Lord, with this prayer, we declare this program blessed. In Jesus Christ's name. Thank you, Father. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Apostle, for the powerful prayer. Now, we are going to go straight ahead. We want to greet all of you, our national leadership here present, whom I won't mention by name, for they will be mentioned by the speakers who have been tasked to do so. So right now, we are going to go to the first item of today's meeting, which is a questionnaire update, which will be shared by the Diaspora Technical Team. Chairman of the Diaspora Committee, Mr. Chamu, can you unmute and we see if we can hear you?
Hello, good afternoon, everybody.
Thank you. You will be on in a moment.
Hello, yes, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes, we can.
You can go, Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Rico. Good afternoon, everybody, once again. So we meet again for the second time. Those of you who were in this meeting last week, I see a couple of same faces coming back again. Thank you for coming back, and we move with you along. Exciting times ahead. So today we are going to give feedback to the respondents that we, through the response that we are getting from the various respondents that have filled in the forms, the questionnaire. So as you are aware, last week we launched our questionnaire. This is a consultative process where we dispatch the questionnaire, and every week we engage with you on various issues on the questionnaire. So today we've got some feedback that we are going to share with you, and we are happy to discuss with you along. So before you can move on. Hello, Jiku. We're still on the first slide. Can you move on to the second slide?
Yes, I will do that in a moment. Sorry, there is a technical problem. Yes. Now we have moved.
Okay, so our questionnaire has various categories. As you will notice as we move along, we have the first part of the questionnaire with the age category. Those are our respondents that we got so far. Quite interesting there. So this part of a piece of statistics that planners will need to look at in the coming years. For example, we have age group respondents, the age group 36 to 45, there we have 25% respondents, those who have attempted our questionnaire. 26 to 35, 15%. And we have age 66 to 75, we have 2% respondents. 56 to 65, we have 14% respondents. 46 to 55, the highest being 46 to 55. Now that tells us a story, how many people in the diaspora, at the percentage number of people in the diaspora who are in the age group of 46 to 55. It tells us a story. Maybe we are closer to getting to a pensionable age. The planners need to plan along those lines. You can go to the next slide, Marco. So gender, 79% of the respondents are male, 79%, and female only 20.5%. So number of years in the diaspora. Again, there we just wanted to understand how far we Zimbabwe has been in the diaspora so far. And we have the highest there, 14%, 14 years in the diaspora, and the lowest being maybe close to maybe 2 years there. That's the lowest we have. 14% is the highest, and those 14 years, 14% is 14 years. That's the highest we have as the number of stay in the diaspora. This question was a yes or no. The diaspora vote, is it very important to you? Where we have a 92%, it's as important as anything. 92% have responded as yes. 7.14%, they are not quite interested for some other reasons, best known to themselves. Do we have any other suggestions on the diaspora vote? So this is just an abstract question with respondents which we could not quantify because it was freely definable. What is your host country? quite interesting there. So we have South Africa and the UK as the host country with a big number of Zimbabweans. I think that is very important for us as we craft the policy document. I think it will speak closely to whether those who are in Zimbabwe are indeed diasporians or they're just there for business and they go back home. Those who are staying in UK, we know they'll stay longer. Yeah, we've got also various other countries that we are not going to go into detail. Highest level of education, university degree, master's degree, doctorate, secondary, highest being a university degree. Okay, so this just a piece of statistic of the respondents from where they are, different countries, England, Zambia, UK, South Africa, and so forth and so forth. This is Rico plus 9-1. Which country is this? 971.
It's one of the countries in the world. I'm not really sure which one is that one.
Okay, now you can move on. Never mind about that. So, do you see yourself coming back to Zimbabwe? Quite interesting piece of statistic there. Yes, 82%. I think we shall see later in the detailed report that we are going to get that the 82%, which of these countries constitute the 82%. I think that piece of statistic is also very important to the planners. We can move on. What are your main reasons for migrating? 52% says they migrated because of career opportunities, educational opportunities, joining family. I think those would be spouses. And 12% there is asylum seekers. We'll also see what constitutes the bigger number of asylum seekers. Where are they staying? Is it in South Africa? Is it in UK? Or any other country? Opportunities in host countries. The question there was, are there any opportunities in the host countries? 23% have gone there to seek new opportunities and educational advancement is the second highest. Investment opportunities, setting up enterprises, reskilling opportunities. Those are the respondents that we got on the part of our questionnaire. Now, the other question was, how can the new government of Zimbabwe help you exploit opportunities in your host country? Again, this was a freely definable question where people put in text there. We could not draw up any statistics. Do you believe the current government of Zimbabwe involves the diaspora? No, 100% of all the respondents, they say they do not believe that the government is engaged the diaspora in any policy formulation back home. So, Marco, is that all that we have so far?
Yes, that's all we have.
So this is basically what we have so far. We keep on receiving your response. Thank you once again for keeping this program moving on. As you are aware, at the end of this process, we are going to carve out a policy document. These respondents are very crucial in determining the outcome of our policy document. So keep spreading the questionnaire, keep responding, keep giving us feedback as we proceed with our program. We shall advise you when the next team meeting is, but let me leave this time and opportunity to the next speakers. I'm not sure, Jibo, whether we are going to take questions now or after the all speakers there.
Yes, so keep your questions. They will be taken in a question and answer section. that is going to be interactive, and it's going to come at the end after all the speakers have spoken. Thank you so much, Chair. Whilst our guest is preparing, can DJ Prof give us a 2-minute song? DJ Prof, 2 minutes.
Zimbabwe,
Thank you so much for the music, Professor. Now we are going ahead with our program, and we would like to give this time to the main person who organized this event, who is the minister. He will take the proceedings from here onwards. Thank you so much. Minister, it's your time.
Oh, thank you very much. I was trying to work out some technical glitches, but I'm here now. Thank you so much, comrades. Thank you. Yeah, good. Am I clear now?
Yes, very clear.
Clear. Very good. Fellow combatants, fellow citizens, fellow lovers of change and advocates for change in Zimbabwe. I would like to thank the organizers of this meeting, which is the Diaspora Network for Change, and Comrade Chamu, and others. Thank you for that. Today's meeting basically has two segments. Number one, we are going to deal with policy. That's what we have already started, getting the update from our technical team. And our Secretary for Policy in the party, Comrade Last Mangahama, is going to address us. He's here. Then after that, we'll proceed to elections, where our veteran Secretary for Elections, Councillor Ian Makone, and the Deputy, Madame Ellen Schroeder, are going to present. Then we have a discussion on the election participation as the diaspora. So that's our program today. I don't want to waste much of your time. This is part of our engagement. This is part of our work to make everyone included in the process of policy making, policy formulation, in the processes of decision making. That's what we do in our party. That's what our president encourages us to do as leaders, to engage the people who matter most, to engage the constituents whom we lead, and to make sure that everyone is on board. So these engagement programs are going to be carried out every week, every weekend. We are going to break for holiday, but we'll be back again after holidays. So today, we are just saying, in Dao we say, and the others they say, so that's what we are doing today. So allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome Comrade Last Mangahama to address the meeting. This is his first time to address the diaspora. Last week we had a very fruitful engagement with him when I was inviting him to be one of our guests here. He was excited and very willing to join us and participate in this process as we are preparing for a landslide victory of President Nelson Chamisa in 2023. Probably Last Mangahama, the floor is yours. Proceed.
Thank you, Comrade Clifford. I am happy to be invited on this platform. I would like to thank the organizers of this event, and in particular yourself as the Secretary for Diaspora. As introduced, my name is Last Mangahama. I'm the Secretary for Policy Development and Research in the MDC Alliance. I just want to start by giving the context and the background to what I'm going to say. As we prepare for 2023, a critical aspect to measure our readiness to govern is that of policy review. Zimbabwe's political economy has undergone extensive reconfiguration, triggered by deindustrialization beginning from the late 1990s. Economic mismanagement and poor governance and corruption all combined to erode business confidence and exert capital flight, diminish direct foreign investment, leading to the formalization of the economy as well as urban to rural migration or brain drain, as citizens opted to migrate in search of economic refugee and opportunities. Today, the majority of Zimbabweans are either making a living from the precarious of informal trading, lending, or through risk artisanal mining. Those who were able to get land under the Fast Lane program continue to struggle to secure finance and to be assured of commodity markets. Industrial capacity utilization is barely above 50% of installed capacity. Unemployment is above 95%. Those in the diaspora, despite being the major driver of the economy through remittances, continue to be excluded from policy making and decision making, including participation in electoral processes. The health sector and the education sectors have suffered the most. The people of Zimbabwe remember and embrace the values of the struggle for liberation. They remember with veneration those who sacrificed themselves to defeat those who made slaves our forebears. They too observe with despair a country that has progressed from being the breadbasket of Africa to a basket case. To the majority of the objectives of the liberation struggle have indeed been compromised. Over the years, the people of Zimbabwe have deposed their faith and hope in the movement for democratic change as a vehicle for the resolution of the national crisis. However, the aspirations of the people of Zimbabwe and the hopes they deposit in the MDC happen within a political context of repression, sophisticated and a constitutionalized military dictatorship. In that context, as MDC Alliance, we have to offer policy response. Given the Zimbabwean context and its social democratic inclination, the central strategic objective of the MDC Alliance policies will be centered on promoting basic rights, providing public services, improving livelihoods. In this regard, shaping policies for governance will require increased and authentic citizen participation, as enshrined in the Constitution through a bottom-up policy-making process. This will entail consultations with structures from the branch, ward, district, province to the national, and also from local to the diasporians. Making democracy work will require informed and active citizens who voice their interests, act collectively, and hold public officials accountable. Policies follow a particular purpose. They are designed to achieve defined goals and present solutions to societal problems. More precisely, policies are a government statement of what it intends to do or not to do, including laws, regulations, decisions, or orders. Public policy, on the other hand, is a more specific term, which refers to a long series of actions carried out to solve societal problems. Public policies can be conceived as the main output of political systems. There are political factors that determine the shape of our policy-making process and the nature of the policies. In line with our social democratic ideology, we favor a bottom-up model which regards local communities, the diaspora, the bureaucrats as central actors in policy-making and view implementation as a negotiation process. We believe the bottom-up policy making enables, one, communities buy-in. One of the most obvious benefits of bottom-up approach is the fact that communities will feel far more involved with the party and interested in its future success. They will feel more obligated to making processes and methodologies work out if they are also feeling ownership of their implementation. As there is a greater degree of communication and feedback from those actively involved in policy tasks, there will also be greater information about the level of risk contained in those tasks and how likely issues are to occur. When implementing the bottom-up approach, the MDs Alliance will have far greater knowledge of communities and their challenges. This way, we are able to capture the nature in which the economy in crisis is configured. Communities reject processes that lack consultations. This is a lot more likely to happen with the top-down approach, as there will be less opportunity for collaboration or hearing affected community thoughts and policy directions. The opposite occurs within bottom-up policy development, giving the party the best possible opportunity for collaborating with communities and structures. These processes will produce policies that are distributive, that are redistributive, that are regulatory, and that are constituent. Distributive policies relate to measures which affect the distribution of resources from the government to particular recipients. Distributive are based on the transfer of resources from one societal group to another, whereas regulatory specify conditions and constraints for individual collective aims. These processes will produce policies that are adhered to promote regulatory. As a party, distribution policies relate to measure. Our policies are guided by distribution of resources of the Alliance and blue $100 million to achieve this. Our focus on that. This structure the government to make it lean, campaign, organized, including system regulatory and corruption, creating a highly competitive central state. Anchored in Zimbabwe development country, consulted forum for public policy will take a lead, engaging with diaspora. The Zimbabwe Development Council includes civil society organizations, labor, business, government, and the diaspora. The consultation process includes processes such as the one we are carrying out today. That's why we thank the organizers of this event, because we are indeed consulting the citizens, in particular the diaspora, in the process of formulating MPC policies. Proper management of the macroeconomic environment, including currency reform, single-digit inflation, the retrenchment of unnecessary expenditure, debt sustainability, domestic savings, foreign direct investment, and diaspora investment, promotion and professional of small to medium enterprise, and incentivizing innovation. Also, our focus will be on creation of a right-based society, actualizing citizen rights, including easy access to identity documents, using e-governance, and more importantly, protecting property rights. We also focus on agro-industrial transformation, which, among other things, putting finality and closure to the land question, embracing climate smart innovation, and facilitating markets for small and medium-scale farmers. It also focuses on the development and urbanization of rural areas to create new work centers and decongest major urban centers, but also decentralize services to places where production is taking place. Gross capital formation is also our focus, including an overhaul of the country's road network, modernizing rail network, communication network, social protection, reforming pension funds, creating value for an insurance fund. The diaspora has a role to play in the MDC Alliance policy process. The diaspora will be involved in each of the above focus areas. To make this possible, the party will establish a diaspora census framework to determine how many citizens are in the diaspora, upgrade their geographical location. Also, there will be a diaspora agent, which will be housed in one of the ministries in the economic clusters to facilitate diaspora participation in development issues. At home, we will create a scenario to ensure that Zimbabwe who will bring back their skills and help the transformational agenda. As MDC, we have been a major advocate for dual citizenship, even during the constitutional process. Dual citizenship should not be punished. Those who hold other passports must be encouraged to have Zimbabwean passports to allow them to come back and access their development projects and investment initiatives. Those in their diaspora will participate in policy making and electoral processes. Leveraging diaspora remittances, which are around 1.2 billion USD a year, and incentivize investment of the funds and ensure sustainability. We need to reconnect with our formation and the roots in the policy making process. Since the formation of the MDC in 1999 and throughout its trials and tribulations, the people of Zimbabwe have remained hopeful that only the MDC can deliver to them the promise of the struggle for national liberation. Amongst the expectations of the MDC is that it must create a redistributive state, which is inclusive and decisive in favor of the aspirations of the poor majority, to ensure fidelity to the expectations of the people. As the MDC Alliance, we admit that this responsibility requires all of us at all times to remain anchored and inspired by the causes of and the resolutions at the National Working People's Convention, which gave birth to MDC, which was held in February 1999 in Harare, the Zimbabwe Women's Bureau. The party policy making process must also reflect this reality. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the party is the vehicle in which every Zimbabwean is a co-driver. We call on all of us to contribute to this last mile of a journey we co-created in 1999 at the National Working People's Convention to finish the unfinished business of the liberation struggle. Thank you, Comrade Shastrai.
Thank you, Comrade Engers, Comrade Lastmangahama. I think you've heard him, you've heard the presentation, a rich presentation. We are ready to govern. We are ready to participate as diaspora in the creation of 100 billion economy. We want to salute the efforts that you are doing. You were appointed 3 months, 4 months ago, but the work you have put in place is tremendous. And as diaspora, we are going to play our part. We are going to deploy our other minds, other brains in the diaspora to assist in your department. I understand you've got various, a number of sectors, a number of ministries and departments that you need assistance in terms of coming up with sound and brilliant policies as you are preparing for the policy conference next year. We'll participate, we'll assist, we'll come in to work together as diaspora and your office. So from here, we are going to have volunteers who are going to come and assist you in those various areas: ICT, engineering, health, transport, roads, education, you name it, all those things, the social sector, governance, etc. So people who want to volunteer to contribute in the policy reform and policy review of the party to win Zimbabwe for change, you are welcome. You are welcome. So, Comrade Maingama, thank you so much. I can allow 5 people to come in. Can our host, the moderator, can you assist us? Let's have just 5 people to come in before our able secretary for elections presents. Can we have 5 people to talk about policy? Mr. Mengama is there to assist us. Daisy, Tetwas, our host, can you allow him to speak?
Yes. Tetwas, can you try to unmute?
Thank you. I'm Babam Tetwa from South Africa, Western Cape. Mine is not more like a question, but rather it's a vote of thanks. I think for time immemorial, the external structures of MDC, especially South Africa, I think we're just more like a ceremonial structure. In essence, you only be recognized where people feel they wanted to recognize you. But with the new move by Minister Clifford Latchwa, I can see a new tone, a new thrust, a new twist in the way our democratic movement is enhancing its citizens' convergence for change. So I simply wanted to open up from the floor to say thank you. This move that we've made is a big move. It means a lot for the diaspora community. And let it not only be in theory, let it be in theory and in practice. Together we can, and together we will. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Uabam Tetwa from Cape Town, South Africa. Siyabonga kakhulu. Comrade Becky, you may come in. Becky, proceed. Unmute yourself and make a contribution. You just identify yourself, your name and where you are. Becky.
Hello.
Proceed, Becky.
Hello. Sorry, my phone was just playing up.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask the minister this implementing of these policies and the strengthening of the international business networks. How I didn't quite get it. How it's going to work? Are we going to have a representation from each country in diaspora so that they can pull this forward and meet in conferences and in forums to talk about the business networks and in line with overcoming all the barriers and the bridges to build up the gap between the countries. Thank you.
Yeah, so your question is directed to
the previous speaker was explaining about the direct investment, the diaspora capital, and the remittances.
Comrade Megama, yeah, we'll assist each other in responding to that. Let's have another question if we have concerning policy. If we don't have, we have Mukoma Ambassador Cheve. I understand is Dr. Cheve from United Kingdom.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Minister Clifford, and also my distinguished friend, Mainga Ama, the Secretary for Policy and Research. It is a very important portfolio, and my one is just to give you also some assurance that my office will support you as business and investment attaché for UK and Europe, so that our policies are aligned with the global perspectives. But there are two policies that I would like to raise so that you can note today. One is the ease of doing business in Zimbabwe. Very appalling. Zimbabwe is number 140 out of 190 in terms of the ease of doing business. You then look at our regional neighbors. South Africa, 84, Zambia, 85, and so is around Botswana. So when the current government is crying for, in terms of lack of foreign direct investment, it's an ongoing, because the ease of doing business in Zimbabwe is at the lowest level and very appalling. That's number one. Number two, we need also to ensure that we come up with a policy once and for all that arrests corruption. Corruption is milking the country dry. And that should be the cornerstone of our policy, so that we can have investor confidence going forward as an MDC alliance government. So that's my contribution.
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador Feve. Let's have the last two. Let's adhere to our time, just a minute and a half for those who are asking questions or even contributing. Just a minute and a half, because you are not presenting, you are just asking or buttressing. So I will start with the Kumbi Chikosha was the first one to raise his or her hand.
Hi, good afternoon, Minister. Thanks for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah, good.
My issue is really buttressing.
Just so sorry. There is another thing that we must do. Let's turn on our video when we are speaking, so that we can see each other. I will also join you in doing that, to just unmute my video so that our listeners and viewers will see us talking. You may proceed, Comrade Kumbi.
Yeah, I know just buttressing what the Secretary of Police was saying, and also to acknowledge that we really appreciate the new approach. We feel like we are government and we have got a role to play. My only addition is that we need to kind of see how we can, especially in the Secretary for Policies department, how we can tap into the diaspora so that we can start to utilize those skills in building our policies back home into concrete action plans. That's a job well done. Thank you.
Thank you. Host, I cannot start my video. I don't know why. Can you assist me? Let's have the last one. Let's have the last one on policy. Wapamire. Then the last one is Wabang. So Wapamire.
Thank you, Leader Churchwire. I really appreciate for hosting this important event. And also, thank you, Leader Maingama, for bringing the police. We will be available to assist you at any rate and to bring ideas and sharing with other research in our province. I'm based in UK. I'm the organizing secretary of UK MDCLN province. I just want to end up on your policy when you're, let's say, for your next preparations for the policy. I'm asking your department to include health and social care policy. It's very important in terms of our health sector services is very poor, and it actually needs help. And also, when you are involved in those health and social care policies, we need to consider mental health departments, mental health services. People in our culture or in our services, they consider mental health as maybe something caused by witch and other things, which is real. Schizophrenia exists. So we need your police to involve all those sectors in health social care services, because our services, because of ZANU-PF, have destroyed health care services. At the same time, when you're making all the policies, let's consider our pensioners, our elders, to be involved in their health care. So that act for health care for our elderly, maybe to be free for health care for elderly people, or for our pensioners over 60, or that policy actually will help and motivate our elders to look after them. So that's what I need to contribute for now, and in future we share more. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you from the United Kingdom, Comrade Model Pamire. Let's move on to Comrade Simba Bako, just in 1.5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Minister Shakwayo, and thank you very much, Minister Maingahama, for gracing us in this. And I would like to congratulate this network for having this platform for us to discuss policies. Mine is just a question and also a contribution mainly directed to you, Minister Shakwayo, and also maybe you could drop in Minister Maingahama, including our treasury, because I'm just concerned about our fundraising policy. I'm talking about mainly us in the diaspora. Is there a way we can formulate or improve it so that it operates in sync? Because we've got a lot of fundraising platforms for our party and our causes, which are currently going on, but they are all scattered all over. And is there any way we can get a proper policy so that we can keep them in sync? I think in short, that's my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Comrade Last Maingahama, you can come in and make your remarks, your two final remarks, and as well as responding to issues raised by the people here. Admin, please assist to unmute Comrade Maingahama.
Thank you, Comrade Sachayo. We appreciate the contributions, the ideas, and the suggestions that have been made by all the participants. Well, the putting of a diaspora desk and the Secretary for Diaspora in the President's office, it's a demonstration of our commitment and the seriousness in engaging the diaspora community. It is a fact that our citizens in the diaspora have been sustaining us back home, have been sustaining our economy through their remittances. But unfortunately, most of these remittances were directed to probably consumption and so on. But would I want those diasporians to participate meaningfully in the economy of their mother country. So when we become a government, one of our proposals is to come up with what we call a diaspora agent. A diaspora agent is going to be a vehicle and a platform which will ensure that the diasporian community as an organized entity will be able to meaningfully and effectively participate in the economy of our country. We may even give that diaspora agents a legal standing through an act of parliament. We are in the process of starting the Ethiopian model because Ethiopia is one of the few African countries where they've been able to harness their citizens abroad, which is a fact that most of the Zimbabweans who are abroad have managed to acquire skills. They've been exposed to the first world economy. So we tend to benefit a lot if we seriously and genuinely allow them to participate. So this is what we are going to do when we get into government, but we start now. We want you to define, to decide, to say how meaningfully you would want to be involved. But the government of the MDC, led by Advocate President Nelson Chamisa, really values contributions of our brothers and sisters who are in the diaspora now and when we are in government. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. We are working flat out to make sure that we coordinate all efforts in the diaspora, working with all departments in the party, working with the all members and people who want to participate in this endeavor to win Zimbabwe for change. My office is responsible for that coordination. My office is responsible for liaising and initiating activities, various activities in the diaspora, including fundraising initiatives, including policy making, participation, investments, and so forth, encouraging citizens to participate in those activities. I've set up a team, a technical team, representing various continents. So that's why you have seen Comrade Chamu is leading in policy making. There are a number of people whom you are going to see, but people who are leading in database and the skills and talent database. You've heard Comrade Mengahama that our trust as a party, we are going to have a census for the diaspora, and that's part of the census, that database that we are going to create, and a number of things. There's another speaker who talked about issue for investment and so forth. We have established a desk to deal with investments and scholarships in my office, and it's being led by one of the people who have been at the forefront in leading other investments in Southern Africa, across the borders, across oceans. He's a renowned farmer. He has been acknowledged by former South African President Thabo Mbeki, for being one of the successful farmers in Southern Africa. So we've got a number of people who are working on various sections, and I would love us as leaders to conduct our network coordinator who assist us in interactions, in talking to people, in creating meetings like this, initiating meetings like this. I think his contacts on the chat group, we can get hold of him so that we get those suggestions, those contributions, even outside the meeting. So we've created a network coordinator so that we create all those networks and assist each other in coming up with ideas. It's a new desk. We are pioneers. We are trying to set up things, trying to make things happen. So we are going to bring leaders here to talk to you, to share ideas, and make sure that we assist them. The next speaker or the next speakers are from the elections, which is one of the critical things. Last week, one of our listeners or the participants here talked about doing first things first. And the first You're one of the in Zimbabwe. Yeah, good.
Thank you very much for inviting Ellen and I. Earlier on, I was speaking to her. She just arrived from Bulawayo, and only to find that the network connectivity in the Chulus area has been bad. So if she can join us, she will join us. When she does, I will stop talking, and then she can
continue
talking.
She's here.
Is she there?
She's here. Yeah, she's here. She's here. She's here.
Let me open up so you can check. She's very good at answering the questions. Let me acknowledge your presence, Leader Kwakwa Kwambo. Let me acknowledge also Leader that I listened to everything he has to say, which was very informative. We now look forward to his input into the national conference, which was very good for 2023. So we really appreciate his many efforts, and any support that you can get in that regard, we appreciate very much. You've asked us to spend some time dealing with the election issues. This is not our first opportunity to interact with the diaspora, but certainly we appreciate that the institution of the diaspora goes beyond just our party structures. The inclusivity of the citizen approach means even those that do not carry MDC party cards, as long as they've got an interest in seeing change in this country, we appreciate their participation. And I'll tackle some of the issues just now. The main focus for us is 2023, irrespective of anything else that might happen in between by-elections, etc., etc. But our focus is 2023. Starts off with our efforts to mobilize more people to register as voters. And we're looking to every Zimbabwean and every friend of Zimbabwe to assist and to participate in that process, urging particularly our young people, those that are able to do so, or in the age bracket, to register. Only during the earlier part of this afternoon, I was in Glenview South, meeting with our party structures there. And the message is very clear. Our president has been very clear in emphasizing the supremacy of the branch. So each of our branches needs that support from all of us, which means that each branch, if it is going to be supreme around its own polling station, it must be capacitated, it must be able to engage citizenry, all of the citizenry, from churches to students to lay to limit. We've all got, it's an open secret that we are targeting 6 million votes that we must garner. But in order to achieve that, voter registration becomes very key. And I urge all members of the diaspora to participate, to urge your relatives back home to get registered. 6 million looks like an impossible target, but when you bring it down to the individual targets for each polling station, then it is indeed very, very manageable. we've launched a scheme for local registration, local identification of unregistered people. And it's amazing that they almost double the number of voters, registered voters. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you are breaking, but now we can hear you. May proceed.
Yes, no, I mean, for some reason, I think for some reason I lost connectivity.
Oh yeah, we are listening. We are listening, Secretary.
Right. Thank you very much. I'll get on there. So, I said the milestone number 1 is voter registration. Milestone number 2, which is closely related, is the delimitation of constituency boundaries. Now, that process is a technical process, and anyone in the diaspora who's got expertise in this particular area and who wishes to participate along with us, we would happily welcome them on board. It's going to depend on the numbers of people that were able to register. So delimitation is married to the registration. It is also married to the population census, which we believe is going to happen in April. So once again, and I always use this thing and people laugh at me, I say, look, in the critical 3 days involved, especially men, sleep at home so that you get counted. Otherwise, you're not, if you're falling in between or various other residences, you risk not being counted. And we need everybody to be counted during the census. Hot on the heels of delimitation and the constituency boundary, that means we are now able to finalize on the voter registration targets of our various polling stations. The coming election is going to be dependent, it's going to be polling station based, which means that anyone who is in the diaspora, who is aligned or linked back home, any particular polling station of their liking, we would very much appreciate them getting associated with them. And you know, in that program of linking our diaspora colleagues to their corresponding polling stations. We will have possibly, currently we've got 10,985 polling stations nationwide. Based on
Comrade,
in.
Your audio is very poor. We are not following.
Estimate that after all this registration that I've been talking about, the number of polling stations could well edge towards 12,000. So we're using 12,000.
Yeah, we are having challenges here. Can Comrade Ellen come in for now? Well, at least our Secretary for Elections is working on his network. Can Comrade Ellen Shiredenga assist? Can come in and make your presentation? Well, at least Comrade Ian Makon is doing something.
Okay, thank you so much. Hopefully I'm audible.
Clear.
Very clear. Okay, no, that's fine. My apologies for joining late. I've just arrived from Bulawayo. Let me just hasten to say thank you so much for organizing this platform. And we really appreciate every effort which you guys render to the party. And I'll just make a few additions to what Councillor Makoni was speaking about. Firstly, the role of the diaspora. We greatly appreciate every effort. You know, we for us to be where we are today, it's because of you guys out there. In terms of support, be it financial support. I remember just 2 years back when we were having by-elections before the COVID situation, you really assisted us big time in terms of polling agents support. And also prior to that, you've been helping, you are all weather friends. And but however, what is important on our part is to actually be accountable as a party, to come back to you to say no, with regards to the support you gave us, this is what we have done, and also to give you constant updates as to what we are doing as the MDC Alliance. So I think, Comrade Sachayo, thank you so much for this platform. You are really helping us in terms of actually giving feedback and helping us to be more accountable, to the people of Zimbabwe. Other than the role of financial support, the diaspora can play a very effective role in terms of lobbying and advocacy. We are currently grappling with the issue of electoral reforms. We'll share after this meeting, I will be able to share our price document. As the Department of Elections, we came up with a 20-point principles, which we felt they are critical in terms of our electoral laws and which need to be reformed. We'll share that document. And just briefly, the document speaks to the issues around for example, the independence of ZEC as an electoral body. We know our constitution is clear on the role of ZEC, and also with regards to other institutions as well, including the judiciary. You speak of the traditional leadership system as well, in terms of their independence, and we have those Chapter 12 institutions, like the National Peace and Reconciliation Commission. You speak of the Gender Commission as well, the Human Rights Commission. Those Chapter 12 institutions are important in advancing, the issues to do with democracy in our country. So our constitution clearly states that they should be independent. But if you look at what's currently happening with ZEC, you can actually tell that there is an underhand. So we are saying, in terms of the operations at ZEC, we need an independent entity as prescribed by our constitution. Also, we speak about the results transmission system. Those are some of the laws that need to be reformed, but I will share the document because there are so many and I will take the whole day, but I'll just share the document so that you go through the document and you are able to identify the critical areas that are important to the party. But most importantly, as a party, what we are fighting for is the right to vote. And the right to vote both internally and externally. Internally, we talk of, the young people. Councillor Makone spoke about the issue of voter registration, which is very critical. We have over 2 million young people that are eligible to vote, that have just turned 18, but they are failing to get to register to vote because of the impediments that are being created by our electoral body. For example, we speak of the limited number of registration centers. We speak about the distance to the next registration point. So those are some of the critical issues, and also the aspect that for someone to register to vote, you need proof of residence. And how many young people own properties out there? That is a critical issue. And most importantly, there's the issue of identity documents. As you are aware, our Registrar General's office has not been issuing out IDs, and that is a challenge. And we feel that is a deliberate move to actually make sure that those young people, they don't get to register and they don't get to vote on the day of election. So those are some of the issues that we are currently grappling with, to say no, everyone has the right to vote as stated in our constitution. So those are some of the areas that we are working on. And also there's the aspect of the diaspora vote, which we're really trying to push for. And just last week we in Bulawayo as a party, and very soon we might be meeting up with other parties in Parliament to say what are the critical reform areas that we need to work on. And we as the MDC Alliance, we spoke about the diaspora vote, but as you know, our colleagues from ZANU-PF, for some reason they don't want the diaspora vote. They are saying that for Zimbabweans to be afforded the diaspora vote, sanctions should be removed first. And we are saying, but we're speaking of the bulk of our people, for instance, in South Africa, we are in Botswana. But Botswana and South Africa never imposed the sanctions on Zimbabweans. So why should those people suffer if that is being used as an excuse? And so that is one issue that we are trying to fight for. It's a mammoth task, but with your support, that's when you come in as well as the diaspora to say you work together. And I'm glad that our diaspora desk has actually set up this platform, because it's important that we use it as a lobby and advocacy platform. There are lots of organizations out there. We have our comrades that are in South Africa that can help lobbying the South African government. We have some that are in Botswana, that can help in lobbying Botswana, SADC in Botswana. We have some that are in the EU. We have some in the US that can help in lobbying the United Nations. So what's needed is for us to actually sit down with all these, committees that have been set up to see how best we can come up with a coherent plan which can actually help in mobilization in lobbying for electoral reforms from using the outside-inside approach. And also some of us decide to be fighting from within Zimbabwe. Other than that, what we have is the MDC Alliance Elections Department. We are focusing on a three-pronged, strategic approach to this election. Firstly, the aspect of voter mobilization, which I think Mama Kone spoke about, the need for voter registration. As you are aware, we as a party are targeting 6 million voters. What we have done is to come up with voter registration with targets for each polling station, for each ward, for each constituency, for each province, so which will eventually culminate to our 6 million target. So we are working with those targets, and even those targets are guiding us with regards to our voter registration mobilization efforts. And be that as it may, we are saying our campaign now as a party, we are focusing on to say, we would do well in areas, mobilize, you have rallies and you have, thousands of people attending our rallies, but at the end of the day, those the people will not culminate into votes. So we are saying, no, now we are trying to be scientific to say, okay, this is the polling station. How many people are there? And how many of those people in that particular polling station were registered or were on the safe voters? So how many are our members, right? And we are able to actually get an indication with regards to the projected votes for that particular polling station. And also we are able to say, okay, what is our target? What are the issues, around that polling station? So that will actually help us in crafting our, our manifestos that resonate with the people on the ground. Because one of the criticisms that we've been getting out there is to say, but as the MDC Alliance, your issues, they don't identify with the grassroots, they don't identify with the locals. So now we are trying to tailor-make our issues to resonate with the needs of the locals. And also in that respect, we speak of our candidate selection system. I'm sure some of you are aware that we are adopting a new candidate selection the criteria. What we are doing now is to be community focused. Instead of having candidates that come from within, but of course internally they've passed the test, but then out there, those people will not be accepted by the community for one reason or another. So now we are in the process of doing consultations so that at the end of the day, we come up with candidates that are acceptable to both the community and also with our local structures. So we are trying, because if you notice, as a party, we are all aware that we got 2.6 million, although ZANU, for some reason, they dispute that. But out of that 2.6 million people, the bulk of the people that voted for us, they are just general supporters. They are not our members. So that general support base is they contributed the most, and as a party we don't even know some of those people. So what we are saying is that as much as we are the membership, we just represent a small component of the generality of the voters. So let's be outward focused. Let's have our internal systems, but also let's focus on the generality of the voters out there that vote for us. So that is one area that we are saying we need community-driven candidates, and that we are currently working on that. And also on the aspect of voter mobilization, if you noticed, we are now focusing more on the rural areas. If you take note of the voters' roll, 10% of our registered voters come from the rural areas. And what it means is that, and of which that is one mistake that we've been making as a party, that we've always been criticized on, to say that you people, the MDC, you are urban centric. You don't focus on the rural areas. So now we're focusing on rural areas to say that's where the bulk of the population comes from. And that's from the rural areas. That's where we'll be able to get most of the votes for our 6 million target. So that is one area of focus, to say we are diverting focus. Yes, we are focusing, or we are consolidating and growing our urban base, but also the rural population as well. And I'm not sure if Councillor Makone is back now. Hello? Is he back? Okay, maybe he's not yet back. Let me proceed. And then our other approach, first I said our strategic thrust is on voter mobilization. And secondly, the aspect of the Go Out to Vote campaign. The Go Out to Vote is critical. That looks at our campaign efforts to say what is it that will do in terms of programming to actually encourage people to go out and vote, or to come out and vote on the day of election. And on that respect, we'll be talking about the issues to do with the party visibility, the party rallies and stuff like that. And also the aspect of regalia comes into play, to say for us to be visible, we need to be seen, with our regalia. When you look at the ZANU-PF budgets, we are told that they are printing out millions and millions of t-shirts. And at the end of the day, if somehow we don't do anything, of course we can't match up with ZANU-PF. Something that needs to be done, so that at the end of the day we are able to be visible out there, so that people would identify with us. So the Go Out to Vote campaign is very critical. We are saying we are doing all the voter mobilization, but at the end of the day, those thousands and thousands of our people that attend rallies, what we want at the end of the day is for them to actually come out and vote for us. So that is one area. Of course, because of this platform, I will not dwell into the strategic issues that we intend to embark on, but I'll just speak in general terms. And then the other thing is the third one, which is critical thrust, is that of the defending the vote. As a party, we've won. And clearly, 2008 we won, 2018 we also won the elections, but now there was the challenge that, we couldn't defend our vote. And we have identified our mistakes, we've identified, say, areas where, ZEC and even ZANU-PF took advantage of us. So now what we are saying as a party is we need to, firstly, Mama Kone spoke about the issue of polling agents. We need to strongly focus on our polling agents. We need to ensure that there are no leakages in our polling stations. We need to focus on 100% deployment of our polling agents. Make sure that each and every polling station is manned by a competent polling agent who he or she knows exactly what needs to be done. So that is one area that we are focusing on. Mama Kone will speak about the legacy issues, and I can see he's now here. And also outside the issue of 100% polling agents deployment and training and recruitment, that is one critical area. There's also need to actually to have a coherent results management system to ensure that each and every vote is accounted for. So that is one area that we are currently working on, to say that as a party we are able to trace our results from the polling station up to the National Command Center when it is announced. So these are some of the areas that we are trying to focus on, which we term the defend the vote campaign. I think in a nutshell, I've spoken in general terms. I see Mama Kone is here. we might proceed and take over. Thank you.
No, you're doing very well, very fine. Please carry on.
Okay. I think I don't know. I think I've exhausted most of the things, but there's the issue of delimitation, which you spoke about. But I think your connectivity was bad then. I'm not sure if the colleagues heard you, but let me just try to emphasize on delimitation. As you are aware, after every 10 years, constitutionally, as a party, I mean, as a country, we are supposed to divide our wards and constituencies. And then the delimitation process is determined by the number, primarily by the number of registered voters. And there should be, like currently, for example, we have our voters roll is about 5.6 million registered voters. And for us, we are supposed, constitutionally, we are supposed to have 210 constituents. And so what it means is that for the number of constituencies per province will be determined by the number of registered voters, to say out of 210 constituencies, and then you divide that from 5.6 million, which means that on average, each polling station should have around, say, 27,000 registered voters. And if you look at, each constituency should have 27,000 registered voters. And if you look at the numbers of polling stations, of constituencies, we have some that are around 63,000, some around, like, for example, 14,000 in Magwegwe. So what it means is that if we use that 27,000 threshold, we are going to lose some seats and gain some. And unfortunately for us as a party, you look at, for example, Harare, it's set to gain 4 seats, but then if you go like Bulawayo, on average, it might lose around 3 seats, and much south 2, much north probably 1. And so if you look at the number of seats that will be lost in provinces, those are predominantly our strongholds. So this is why Mama Kone was actually emphasizing on the issue of voter registration, because we need to retain our states. Imagine if we had to lose 3 seats in Bunawa, and that will definitely affect our numbers in parliament. And also, if in Harare, for instance, yes, we are saying we will gain 4 seats in Harare, but then at the end of the day, we are not responsible for the demarcation of our constituencies and wards. We might say, yes, we are gaining more seats, but then, like what happened in 2008, where they brought in some wards from rural areas. For example, if you look at Ziwarasepa, it's just adjacent to a ward of what do you call it, Zwimba, And if you look at Mount Pleasant as well, there are chances that a portion of Mount Pleasant will go to Mazoe, and same applies to here where we stay, like there's Goromonzi, it might go to to Mashonaland East. So those are some of the areas that we have challenges with in terms of delimitation. Yes, there's the issue of numbers, but also, like Mama Kone has indicated, we need people that can help with technical assistance to do with issues around town planning, and GIS mapping. Because the challenge that we are facing is, ZEC, when it comes to delimitation, is either they are speaking with a forked tongue, or maybe they are mum on issues, because a lot is happening on the ground, but they are not disclosing exactly what is happening. So we feel as a party, we also need to play our part and be prepared for any eventualities. This is why we are also trying to to get people to put a team together to actually assist in terms of coming up with our own parallel delimitation process, which we are going to use in terms of our lobbying and advocacy for a fair delimitation process. So I think I'm done for now.
Thank you. Excellent, and informative
Thank you very
presentation.
much. If you can hear me.
Yeah.
If you can hear me, there's probably one or two other areas here to add. And Ellen talked about the legacy issues of our polling agents. And we can make declare the truth to our colleagues in the diaspora. And we thank you very much, those that have already been able to do so. But because that general election happened when the party was perhaps at its weakest organizationally, the end result is that a large number of polling agents did not receive the requisite allowances that they would be due. We have advised them that would make do, and we did that in the good confidence, and that on consultation with the diaspora, we can between us ensure that these legacy debts are covered. There's a process which we shall share with Leader Flashwire and he in turn with the broader diaspora. And while I'm on that issue, there is, Ellen has already pointed out that we really are going to require ongoing support in certain key areas, such as fuel, to be able to cover no less than the 11 to 12,000 polling stations that I referred to. Constituting a slick cooperation of 11,000 to 12,000 decision points in terms of the elections is not a mean machine that we're putting together. We're confident that we can do it, but we really need the support by way of resources. Fuel is going to be a key thing. The stationery is going to be a key thing, which is paper. And lastly, airtime is going to be a key thing in terms of communicating with that whole network. So Ellen has already talked about the other campaign-related support issues like the regalia, telephones, and that sort of thing. We can share with yourselves very willingly the estimates that we have in that regard. But we're confident that on the ground, the party is alive, the party is ready to go. But we really, at our weakest financially for reasons that the diaspora is fully aware of. Together we can do it. And I thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, leader.
Our leadership, voter registration, voter mobilization, and defending the vote. First things first, we need to mobilize. We need to register, mobilize for registration, to achieve the target for registrants, to achieve the issue of delimitation issues. We need to mobilize for registration and mobilize for voters, and then mobilize for defense of the vote. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, our leaders, for that presentation. We are ready as the diaspora to make sure that we contribute, we join hands together as a people to work out and to play our part. I want to emphasize, before I hand over to our moderators to then proceed with the discussions. I want to emphasize the need of a focused resource mobilization as the Diaspora Affairs Department. We want tangible things. We want to make sure that our hand is seen, our hand is felt by everyone. We want to make sure that we contribute towards something that will make change to happen. So the focused funding, focused resource mobilization. I'm in a position here with the targeted things, for voter registration, for voter mobilization that our elections team has given me. But what we need is we need people, to be there and have something that they feel from the bottom of their heart that we can contribute to this. I can be part of this. I can be part of this. We allow me for moderators for now to take over for discussions. Comrade Network Coordinator, you may proceed to lead the discussions.
Thank you so much, Minister Satwayo, for the wonderful program that you have presented over. Thank you, our national leadership, Councillor Makone, Honorable Shiedenga, Honorable Maengama. We thank you so much for all the eloquent deliveries. I have been checking the chat, and a lot of messages are in there, and an interesting discussion has ensued. I was thinking I was going to start with the people who were contributing in that discussion to say what they want to say, but before we go there, there are 7 people who had already raised their hands. So we'll start with our chief, the chairperson for North America province. Go ahead, Chief.
Thank you, Zico. Thank you to our national leaders, Councillor Makone, Leader Ellen Shiriedenga, Leader Satwayo, our Secretary for Diaspora. We appreciate you. I think this is what we have been yearning for and asking for as a diasporians to be engaged at ideas level, so that we give in our ideas. We also help with strategies. This is really good. But let me just quickly report back on something good that happened here in America yesterday. I'm here in New York, and yesterday we, were at a film festival where President Chamisa's film, The President, premiered. And it was talking about the very things that we are discussing today: elections, election fraud, human rights abuses. The people that were watching, both Americans and Zimbabweans, they cried. Even myself, I cried because of the reality of the situation. And I want to encourage everyone. I know it's going to be taken to the UK. It's going to be shown again here in Dallas, in Atlanta, in Canada, and all in Europe as well. So please make sure you go and watch that film, the President's film. It's entitled The President. And what that film does, it doesn't only put back Zimbabwe on the international map. I saw it as a tool that we can use to unite Zimbabweans. And that's exactly what we need right now. We need to come together. We need to unite as Zimbabweans and make sure that the carnage that is going on in Zimbabwe stops, and it stops right now. Let's come together as Zimbabweans and make sure that what happened in 2018 doesn't happen again. How do we do that? We do that by supporting the strategies that our leaders here have been talking about. We support Leader Ian Makone. We support Leader Shiriedenga, to make sure that they have the necessary tools that they need to make sure that they deliver the 2023 election the same way that Leader Makone and many others did in 2008. He has done it before. He can do it with our help. We are in the diaspora. Our role is supportive. We only need to support what the comrades on the ground are doing. We don't have to be at the bitter end of the branch of the regime, like what our leader Mayenga Hama, I had not acknowledged him. My apologies. Like what leader Mayenga Hama went through, 8 years in jail, but now here he is leading our police department. So all I'm saying is, us in the diaspora, our role is very simple. Let's support the comrades on the ground. Let's make sure they have the tools. Let's make sure that they have the fuel to move around the country and make sure they mobilize people to go and register to vote. That they have the phones that they were talking about. The airtime, it's necessary. Those are simple things, but they are necessary. Without them, they won't be able to deliver what they need to deliver. Like I almost cried at the time when the chair lady, our national chair lady, Mayim Gido, was addressing the North America province. And she went on to say that sometimes they jump into buses to go to programs. She had to hike with other leaders so that they go and fulfill a program. She has to hike all the way from Chirezi every time when she attends meeting, because her car, the personal car, had an accident. And now she doesn't have any car to use. And that's a chair lady of the MDC Alliance that has over 2-3 million supporters in the diaspora. I'm not saying we are raising money for the Women Assembly, but I'm just saying these are the realities. The Women Assembly, we need it when we are campaigning for 2023. We need our Youth Assembly. We need our organizing department. We need our election department. We need the President's office. All those departments need to be resourced. And it begins today as we come here. We just don't want to have these discussions where we come and discuss and then nothing happens after that. We want to put words into action. Personally, I want to share this personal experience, personal appreciation for this struggle. I've told myself, and maybe it began with my conviction that I know, I have no doubt, I have no shred of doubt that President Nelson Chamisa will be in the office in 2023. And therefore, I've said I'm going to do everything possible. But sometimes you have to take this struggle personal. I'm going to do everything reasonably possible to make sure that President Chamisa is in the office and that Zimbabwe is free. And it begins with this, my contribution with my wallet, with my pocket, to make sure that we resource the departments, we give the people on the ground the tools and the resources that they need. And I'm ready, Leader Jiko, when you say through my wallet, through my pocket. And I want to urge all members here, all Zimbabweans here, and those that are listening on Zimai and other platforms, let's join in and make sure that we do what we have to do. We play our party as diasporans and support this struggle. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief, for your words. And we heard okay. For those who don't understand what that means, it means that if we say let's go or let's do something, then let's do it. Pursuant to that, I think you have already seen that when the flyer was circulating, it was talking about ngapi in the Hakem Komana fundraising or Kangene Sibili Ujaha fundraising. It means that we also need contributions related to that. Because we've got so many speakers, please let's speak 1 minute. 1 minute each, maximum, if not 30 seconds. Let's go to Dr. Masie. Dr. Masie Kenneth, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Yes, it's just Mr. I haven't yet graduated to doctor. Thank you. Yes, my question basically is involving goes down to the question the contribution by Councillor Leader Ian Makoni about the constituencies. It's quite clear that ZANU-PF, the government, has used the issue of gerrymandering constituencies for a very long time to suit their need to get certain constituencies filled out with their supporters. And right now, I think we might be in a quandary where I think in terms of the constitution, section, just for reference, section 161, subsection 1 is read with subsection 3 and 4, which requires that the delimitation of constituencies requires both voter registration and census data. And right now we know, of course, there's voter registration that is happening and so forth. It has got its flaws, but the main concern now is the census data, of which the next census is scheduled for August 2022. And this is barely a year before the elections. And it's highly unlikely, or, we know what's going to happen there, that ZEC is going to, have enough time to use the census data to delimitate these constituencies. So I just wanted to highlight that point, like as a party, what mechanisms do we have right now to safeguard what ZANU-PF right now is planning? Because we know that this is of course, it might seem like the August 2022 is falling, of course, just a few months before the election, but we know that with what is been happening right now, that we're not holding what you call this by-election. So this is like strategic. This is like strategic ZANU-PF machinations for rigging elections. So I just wanted to know, like, what do we have in plan as a party, and what can we do here in diaspora to make sure that our programs with constituencies that were twinned are actually matching into those plans to make sure that we defend the vote before we actually go to the votes. Thank you.
Thank you. That was not exactly 1 minute, but it's a question that is coming there. In previous meeting, people had asked whether, like what Chief is saying, when you are saying Kanatati Ngachitre, something like that. In preparation, we actually came up with a donation link for the projects that might come up during this thing. So if Chief challenged us saying that he has got something in his wallet and is willing to even start supporting right away. So what I'm going to do is, before we go any further, before we take the other hands, I'm going to put in the link there. This is a party account, like an MDC Alliance account that is being used to get this donation. So, Chief, there is the link. Can you go and show us what you are able to do? It's a very safe link, and we are going to tell what Chief has managed to do there. So all the speakers that are coming, since Chief Vatinga Chitre, let's go ahead and do what we can. Our contributions should also be related to Chief's contribution. It can help us a lot. Go ahead from Mr. Masie, let's go to Farai. Farai, go ahead. If Farah is not available, let's go to Becky.
Maybe they are old hands.
Okay.
Good afternoon, leaders.
Yes, go ahead, Becky.
Thank you very much, leaders. Pachayo, Shirietenga, Makoni, and everybody else who have been giving us a good speeches here and a lot of information about our voter registration. 100% supportive of Chief Soswe. We unleash the beast inside us in the diaspora to do the work that we're supposed to do when the right time comes. I just wanted to add a few things to the electoral team, especially on diaspora vote. I know it is a little bit too late, but if we can look at things like through the international, the ICCPs and the UHDR, where there was a treaty between different countries, including Zimbabwe inclusive, that people overseas abroad will be eligible to vote, to cast their vote, to represent their countries in the way that is public to everybody else. I think if we can look into that for in terms of our vote in the diaspora, it might help. Maybe it's a little bit too late, but it's something that we look into, because the government of Zimbabwe is inclusive in this treaty. They agreed as well that people who are abroad will be eligible to vote when the time comes. If you can look into that, it can help. What Article 25 of the ICCP in conjunction with the Article 12 of UDHR, they are all in agreement of this. So it is important then to have a voter diaspora representation for each country who can, we have the power here in the diaspora to do that. We can do that. It's very difficult out there in Zimbabwe because of the government, but I think the diasporans representative can look into that and they can win it. And there's still a little bit of time for us to do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Leader Becky. We'll also take people from the comment box who made comments before the hands were raised. Leader Chamu, Mr. Chamu, can you talk, and Dr. Manatsa, Dr. Gasmanatsa, in that order? Leader Chamu, you had an interesting discussion in the chat box. Can you go ahead, the two of you? We start with Leader Chamu, then we go to Leader Manatsa.
Okay, thank you so much, Leader Ziko. With me, I think I was just responding to some of the questions that were being raised. As you know, we are part of the team that actually have invited guests to have such a discussion. So with me, I think most of the issues that I would want to say have been mentioned by Chief Soswe. Chief Soswe actually is discuss the issues that which I wanted also to speak about. The issue of taking this responsibility of resource mobilization to us and ensure that we do it, I don't know, in any vigorous way that we can. We need to ensure that, the argument that I feel is important is, I was not in the view that we could come up with a bigger target, and then we continue trying to raise that money, and that bigger target will take us a bit longer before we make decisions that will help us, because time is no longer on our side. So I think, like what Honorable Sacha was just saying, that this focus-based resource mobilization is very important, whereby we look at what is it exactly we need to do, which is urgent, and then we come up with a figure, and I'm sure the figure will be small. For instance, we come up with 5,000, and 5,000, we can work very hard. Maybe within a month, we manage to raise that amount. When we reach the target, then that amount goes to ensure that what we are raising for, what we are fundraising for, has been purchased. For instance, we are talking about the issue of the PA system that can be used to ensure that we mobilize voters to go and register. We need these PA systems. We need these cars which move with speakers, where people would go to communities, encourage people to go and vote. So this is now a target. So it's a priority at this moment. So the suggestion is we come up with such small focus-based resource mobilization fund with smaller targets. After that, we move into the next based on the priority. So I think this is what I'm just buying from the speakers we have mentioned, like Chief Sose and also Honorable Fashai. So I think this is just my contribution. If there are any other issues, I think I would come up perhaps to respond in future. Thank you so much. Back to you, leadership.
Yeah. Thank you, comrades. We are very excited about the deliberations that we are having here. I would like, challenges must come with actions. If you just say, "Oh, no grow," without grow, it will end up like that. We need challenges coupled with action. Chief, is Chief still here? You have come up with your challenge here. Can you beat us so that we know that challenge is real? As we start our program, as we start fundraising for voter registration, we want fuel, which means we need a car to do that. We need, these days there's COVID-19, we need a system that can be used, to do road shows, mobilizing people to register to vote. We need teams that will go around supervising and making sure that things are done properly, because if you leave ZANU-PF without serious checks, you see people in rural areas and other people, being denied the right to register to vote. So we need all those things. So, Comrade Chief, come up with your challenge. We are waiting for you. All other people are waiting for that challenge. So our link, let's have our link here. Who is here? Comrade Deft, can you come in? I'm not seeing you, Samponda. Can you come in? Comrade Deft Samponda was our candidate. He has experience in these things, the challenges and the successes that you can encounter during the campaigns from voter registration up to the election time. You can come in, Comrade Samponda.
I think then I'll keep welcome.
Thank you very much, Minister Flashfire, for the opportunity, and also the entire national leadership who came here to talk to us and engage. So we are very much appreciative of the gesture that you are giving us here, and I think this is the third, if not the fourth time, attending and listening to the elections department really taking us through the 2023 roadmap. So I must say, I find their presentations and the roadmap quite clear and achievable. But I'm more disappointed maybe with us and myself maybe in particular, because we have not been forthcoming in helping with resources, because just talking and being emotional about what's happening back home, how ZANU-PF is mistreating people, and all the more practices that we are seeing, I mean, it doesn't really help the matters. So what helps the matters here is the action that we need to take. It's the resolve that we have to show, the concerted effort, the coordination that we have to put in place. So I would want also to weigh in on the aspect of the public address systems. In rural areas where I had an experience, it's really very tough to sometimes spread the message, because people they live apart, and having PA systems, I tell you, it is going to help us in addressing each. My vision was, or even my wish is, endowed with PA systems of their own, and especially when we are looking at water mobilization this time. If we could get maybe mounted PA systems that we can use to move around and making sure that we spread the message and encouraging people in their homes to go and register to vote. And also,
don't
this
forget, this is 1 minute. We want to check.
So yeah, I'm going also. I'm going to my
those who are not speaking.
Other people are speaking in the background, please.
Proceed, comrade. Comrade David, you can proceed.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, so that's what I was saying, that I would need these resources, would need a number of activities to start happening. So what was disappointing maybe from the party side is maybe the absence of communications with regards to resource mobilization. And thank you very much for coming up with this initiative and the resolve really to start doing something from the party side. And we also want to encourage other stakeholders and actors whom we partner with in the democratic process and fight for our own liberation to also up their game, and that we collect as much as resources that we want, because the election is not going to be won by anything outside the resources that we channel in and put so that we confront the regime. The regime is well resourced, and we are now in a season of sacrifices, a season whereby we have to go half or even 3/4 to a quarter in terms of our budgeting, because this is a struggle that we are in, and we really need to put as much resources as we can. Also encourage and weighing in on others that let's go and make sure that we contribute and at least make sure that we get that PA system.
Comrade David, we will start making each minute cost $10 if people keep taking long, so that at least we have many hands that have been raised and we need to be moving. So we need to streamline the thing. I had the issue of the PA system. Minister, do you agree that we start with the PA system, because we need something that people can see? If we say we are fundraising for a PA system, I think it's generally between 1,000 and 5,000 thereabouts. Should we fundraise for a PA system right now? Then we'll move on to the next item later on. Minister,
let's hear from Comrade Ali first. Let's hear from Comrade Ali in Washington. Is Comrade Ali? Yeah, good. Just, yeah, you are unmuted.
Good evening. Your leadership, all protocols observed. I think that's just going straight to the point. We have a purpose to fundraise. And I think as one of the people within the fundraising committee, I'm going to go to the link and put my 200. and kickstart the going. I think there was another leader who put 100 there. So I think if we can just pledge whatever we are pledging and put it on there, it will reflect straight away by the end of the conversation. Most of us, if we just show by action what we need to do, I think we will be able to get to where we want to get in a period of in a very short space of time. I acknowledge what's been said, very important, and thank you, our leadership, for bringing this to us. I think this is one of the things that was lacking, and we want to put our hands in and get the ball rolling from here and resource home. So I hand back the mic and I'll go to the background and do what I have to do. So I also challenge everyone to do the same, so that at least once we came here, perhaps within the next half an hour, if we can get a feedback of how much we would have done, I think that will give us what we need. We need, if we are to go for the public pay system, I think a 5,000 figure has just been put on there. Let's go ahead and fundraise 5,000 and see if we can buy the PA system today. The next time we meet, we buy another one until we get all provinces, and then we take it from there. Thank you very much. I hand back the mic.
Thank you very much. We also need, I think you've heard about the issue of the mobilization. You don't just mobilize, you mobilize with information. You need information on flyers. You need to print thousands and thousands of flyers. And you cannot do that printing from a shop. You have to print from your office and distribute it to provinces. So the issue for that, the printer, the multi-purpose printer is also critical. You know, the issue of reforms, people, they must know what is happening, what are the reforms, how to push them. They must know the process of registration. They must know a lot of things that we need to do through our various departments. The youth department is going to, what we are doing, raising here is for the party, the general party, including the youth assembly, the women, the organizing, the elections itself. They are going to use all those things in communications to make sure that we mobilize people to go and register. Early next year, all the people will be mobilized to go and register, because there's going to be a program in Blitz for registration. So back to the moderators, but let's focus. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Whilst the speakers were speaking, we have already received $100 from Simram, Ediram $50, Ali 200, then from Chief 300, meaning we are sitting at 650 just during the period the leadership was discussing. So let's go ahead. From there, I will go to Zimbabwe. He raised his hand since the beginning. Can you go ahead? You were the first one. Can you go ahead, Mr. Bako?
Thank you, Zico. Right. I think on the list, I think I was the one who contributed first. I put my $100 to get the ball rolling. And I just want to mention one thing, guys. On the link, there is also an option to add the extra cost of using that platform when you are donating, which would mean that if you're putting $100, put an extra $3.59, it will offset the cost of that, the cost of having that platform on. So, can you still hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, it will eliminate the cost. Your amount, the amount you donate to get there in its full amount. So make sure you use that so that the cost will not be subtracted from the donated amount. But otherwise, I just did that to get the ball rolling. The main purpose over here is to raise the funds. So my $100, I see the other people have donated. So guys, come in and put in your money and let's get things happening. any action. We need to have some action going on. So guys, let's do it. Thank you very much, Chico.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Mr. Farai, go ahead.
Mr. Farai is not there. Comrade Chikosha, Shingai, Comrade Chikosha. Mr. Chikosha, proceed.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. How are you, my leaders?
Yeah, we are very fine.
Yeah, I want to first of all thank you guys for initiating this project. It's a very good way of funding that is going to come from us diasporas here abroad. But what I wanted to emphasize is something to do with each and every country must have representatives. That's what I'm thinking, that represent such an initiative and drive that initiative. To say we need money, let's say we pay now, next year we need money for election. So as we were discussing about PSS scheme, it is fine, but we should start like today to say we've got so many people, so much money that is has been raised. That's what I'm thinking. Let's start doing that now, like talking, like to say, like in South Africa, like here in UK, like where in America, we must have senators and we must have representatives who are there now to say, who keep on briefing to say, we have got so many people who are interested, we've got so many problems that is coming in on. Also about the diaspora vote, it's not too late. I think you leaders, you need to come up with, we need to mobilize, we need to come up with that idea and say, we must start, we need to vote, we need our vote as diasporans. That's most of it, something that is important. Yeah, so about donations, I think let's start now. I'm willing to start now as we speak. And I'd like an answer after our meeting to say we need to represent each and every country that drive this initiative. Thank you very much, our leaders. Thank you for this initiative. I salute you.
Thank you.
Our diaspora initiative programs that we've got. I thank you very much.
Good one. Let's hear from Comrade Dina.
Minister, before Comrade Dina comes in, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our Vice President, Mai Kore. She's here with us as well on this platform. And I think if people want maybe to give a few words, we want to, would need them to donate something or at least help with the fundraising so that at least she can give us a few words. You can go ahead, Mr. Dina.
Thank you very much, leadership. And I also want to take this opportunity there when my brother passed on, Kennedy Dina. I just want to say thank you for the support you gave the family. I wasn't in Zimbabwe at that time. So I'd like to thank everyone here who was at my brother's funeral and just to say thank you. The question that I have is, as we are talking about diaspora participation, my wish was that since as diasporan we have got constituencies back home, is it not possible for the party to increase our participation by allowing us to participate when it comes to the MP voting, so that we can be able to vote also for our MPs and show this regime that it is possible for people in the diaspora to cast their vote. Thank you.
Also, we want to acknowledge the presence of the spokesperson for the Women's Assembly, Madam Barbara Tanyanyua. You may proceed and give your contribution.
Okay, thank you so much, Minister. Thank you, everyone. Maybe before I get into the fundraising part, I just wanted for the person to the electoral the elections committee on what is their comment on the recently published reforms by the Minister of Information. Is it good for us? Is it a piecemeal or is it better? I just want a comment from them. And then coming into the fundraiser, Minister, that's why. For this PA and the printer, I'll put my 100 used on Monday. But I wanted to say, why not us here do direct debit every Monday for our fundraiser, instead of maybe gathering to say we want to raise 5,000? Why not start now and do direct debit until the election, and then you guys will be just coming to give us a feedback to say how much have we raised. I was also thinking, how about having our website that is diaspora based, so that we can donate or every month for the diaspora. I know there's that one for the party, the party as a whole, but why not have a separate one for the diaspora, so that we know exactly how much we are fundraising every month and how much would be fundraised, and that one will help you to gauge, to say 2023 So I was saying with the let's more. I'm being disturbed. My voices are out of background. Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you so much. I was being disturbed. I was saying, if we all know in every month, it means I would want to speak for myself. Every month, I'll do a debit order for user every month until 2023. People have been planning to say, can I 200, cannot 1,000, cannot 3,000, but we some $50 every month. Second money towards our elections. And if there is a budget, we then now say to the PA system, this is side the polling station that I adopted previously. Remember, I said I'm going to adopt my ward 27 in Makoni South. That's my baby. I'm going to cater for that during election. But still, we have to do our part. Let's not do my piecemeal fundraising. People don't have time in diaspora. That's why we cannot 100. It's not 100 were committed, but people are busy. Why not share this message so that people will know every month I will be committed to pay so much to the party? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. As you can see, I've shared the donation link. When you click the link, this is what you see on your phone or on your computer, right? You can see that here you can choose to donate $5, $10, and $20, but we encourage you not to use these three, but to use this one other amount, and do like what our brother who added 215 US dollars to beat Chiefs 300 just did. You can see here there's this button which says make this a monthly donation. Meaning, as Leader Barbara is saying, you can just click here. If you put your other amount, then you click this button which says, make this a monthly donation. It will keep going to that account. So for those who need that option, there is the option for you. That's why I had to go and share that page. Then from there, I'm receiving some important messages here from the leadership. So the thing that we are going to focus on is the 5,000 for a PA system, or a 5,000 initial donation, and this can go towards the PA system as has been suggested by the people. Then that 5,000 also, others are suggesting that the VP and other national leaders can only speak after we've reached that goal. So I think we need to pick up our game. Currently, we are sitting on $865. So can we do more? From there, I will go to Mr. or to Makotose, Alexios Makotose.
Shiko, sorry to interject. Can you hear me, Shiko?
Yes, go ahead, Chairman.
Oh, yes, I wanted to suggest, based on what Leader Barbara has just said, maybe it's important to get an idea of how many people, just for planning purposes, how many people are willing to do a direct deposit a month, who can commit. And then we know that for planning purposes, we know every month we have a potential of raising so much for the needs of the party. So I think maybe those of you who are willing, maybe they can come forward and say, I'm committing to have a direct debit every month. It's a suggestion. If it's agreeable, I think it's a good idea.
Thank you so much. We'll go to Ngonyamaya Judah, then from the...
I think I was ready to just ask my question.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Makotose.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming up with this platform. It's very, very important and very crucial as we are heading towards the 2023 elections. I would like also to thank all the presenters from Leader Mainga Hama, the electoral team, and also you, the host of the program. I'm not sure if the speakers are still around because people are already in the fundraising mood, but we had questions from what they had presented. So I'll just carry on with my question. Maybe I might be answered. There was a program to roll out a mobile voter registration, which was supposed to commence from the 6th of December, as announced by ZEC. And this program was just cancelled by ZEC without giving any reasons. So I don't know if there is, I wanted to hear from the election team, if there is any new announcements as to that effect, as to when the voter registration that is decentralized, polling station based will commence, because this is a very crucial exercise to enable people in rural areas to manage to register to vote. So that is my question in brief. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the brilliant question. So our leadership, the last time I checked, they were still here. But so that they can answer our questions, we are right now at 865. Let's just get to 1,000, then we get their answer straight away. So we can start even with Mr. Makoto, so he can help us just reach there, or someone who needs answers. We can just do that, then we move on. just write it in the chat that I've already put this amount, then we go.
Okay, I'll put $100 to that.
Thank you, Mr. Makoto. So 965. There is 35 left. Let's see here from Gonyamaya Judah, so that we can, whilst we are waiting for the other 35.
Can you hear me, leadership?
Yes, leadership, Kosha, we can hear you.
Yeah, leadership, Kosha. Sorry, guys, to interrupt. Can I also contribute? Can I also contribute 20 years on that? How much is left?
20 US, 15 US is left.
15 years I can pay, but I have to pay in rands.
Okay, that's fine. We'll find a modality for you to be able to pay. So thank you. Right now, Ngonyamaya Judah, we are sorry you have been stopped. You can't speak until we have heard the responses from the leadership. Honorable Makone and Honorable Shiriedenga, can you go ahead and answer some of the questions that you managed to pick up?
Okay, thank you so much. Last time Wamakon was saying he's experiencing network challenges, so I'm not sure if he's here now. But let me try to answer some of the questions that have been asked. The one on the voter registration blitz, which was postponed. Yes, it's true, it was postponed. And when we met with ZEC, they advised us that they are rescheduling to February 2022, and of which the reason, because when they postponed, we got to know about it from a leaked memo from ZEC, and then that's when we confronted them, and for sure they confirmed that no, that leaked memo was somehow authentic, and it was some mischief was happening there. So what was their justification was that, remember earlier on in my presentation, I highlighted that the youth are not given the opportunity to get IDs, identity cards. So most of the young eligible people out there who are not registered as voters, they don't have IDs. So now they're saying that they've made an arrangement with the Registrar General's office to actually conduct their own ID issuance blitz, and then so that after they've issued the young people with IDs, then they will come. Will follow them. But then, of course, we know that the kind of animal that we're dealing with, and clearly from the RRG's office, this is what we are trying to push for as a party, to say the RRG's office should give people IDs, because like they're saying that the proposed registration blitz is in February 2022, and we are only left with just technically 1 month to February, because we took the last week of the festive period. So we have a challenge there, and so we're trying to make sure that people have IDs, and as part we are meeting them, and also through tournament as well. We're trying to seek bridges on that issue. And then later, Barbara asked about the electoral reform issues that are on the media today. We are still in the process of studying that. I actually saw that as I was coming down from Malawi. But in a nutshell, what I can say is say that document, those reforms were not inclusive, the generality of the population, the key stakeholders have not been consulted, and moreover, the key electoral reform issues, they are missing from that document. Whether it's by group or group, we don't know, but there are lots of missing links in that document. And then I think those are the ones that, okay, the one with which I think it was Becky, who spoke about, you know, the ICCP and other international bodies that have actually, you know, prescribed that countries, member states should implement the diaspora vote. And I'm glad that she raised that issue, and that brings into play the role of the diaspora vote, of our diaspora members in terms of not being an advocate. At least this is the kind of assistance, this is the kind of support that we require from you out there to say, let's put our heads together. As much as we are fighting for reforms internally, also from outside, because you also help us in fighting for reform. Because, and I'm glad that this platform will also culminate into a diaspora call. Those are the issues that should be incorporated into our diaspora policy, to say that, you know, as a country, we can't be bragging to say, no, we have so much diaspora remittances. But at the end of the day, the people that are toiling day in, day out, we are not giving them the rights and privileges as the people of Zimbabwe. So I think that is one area that we need to actually sit down with our leaders from the diaspora to say, guys, what can be done? How best what is the appropriate strategy for us to actually compel, you know, ZEC and the government of Zimbabwe to implement the diaspora vote, and also agree on the process of the diaspora voting, because there are serious challenges in terms of leakages. We need to be very careful to ensure that, remember, our key focus also as a department is to defend the vote. We also need to come up with mechanisms on how best we will be able to defend our diaspora vote. And then the last one was on the aspect of delimitation. I think it was Samasi who asked that question as to what we are doing with regards to delimitation. If you could be aware, the census, it's scheduled for April 2022, and then from that census, the delimitation has been penciled for October next year. And our electoral law says that the delimitation report, for it to be acceptable, it should be published before 6 months. 6 months before the next election. So those are, at least in terms of timelines, yes, we feel, you know, they are inadequate. But what is important for us is that census should precede the limitation, in the sense that we'll be able to use the census results to actually to do our checks and balances with regards to the accuracy of the delimitation process. Because if we don't do that, what it means is that, for example, we have say Gonarejo National Park, we'll hear that no, there are maybe 10,000 or 20,000 registered voters at Gonarejo, yet that place is not a habitat for human beings. So those are the issues to say we are still pushing. What we have done is, a matter of fact, we met as a party together with our secretaries for elections from the provinces, because delimitation is a technical process. It involves the people on the ground. This is why we involved our technical persons, so our secretaries for elections, to actually help in spearheading and also engaging ZEC and other stakeholders on delimitation. And also on that note, if I could hasten to say that as an operational measure, we've come up with elected election officers. And as I speak right now, the training they are currently being trained, and delimitation is one issue on the agenda. We know those district election officers, they'll be responsible for not only just delimitation, but the other operational issues in their respective provinces. So in that respect, they'll be able to even monitor what is happening with delimitation at their respective provinces, at their respective districts, and also engage that at district level, which is purely operational. I think that's it for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable. I was showing the screen just moments ago, showing how much we have in our account. We might not have our VP for a long time. So currently we've got $1,278.88 US. Let's get to 1,500 so that the VP can give us a few words.
Comrade moderator.
Leadership.
Comrade moderator. Our VP will not address us unless and until we reach the 2.5 mark. She will not address us. Yeah, she will go back and rest. This is weekend. She will prepare a sermon for tomorrow, Sunday. So let's reach the 2.5 mark for today. Then she will discuss. Meanwhile, give other people to
Go ahead, Mr. Ngonyama ya Ngonyama Kaju. Yes.
Kachuta. Yes. Thank you very much, Mr. Program Director, and all protocol observed, the VP, Thank you very much, leadership. My name is Emmanuel Panda. I'm the elections officer for South Africa Province, MTC Alliance. Yeah, we had our PC in 2019, where we proposed that all the members, carrying members, everyone in the structures, especially I will use SA province, so that I can hit the nail on the mark. We had like 2,000 people in the last structure audit that we had. So we asked for 10 rands from each person, which gives us 20,000 a month. Are we still together? Leadership?
Yes, we are together. Go ahead.
Yes. All right. Which gives us like 20,000 a month. I think I pitched it to our Honorable Leader Makoni as well, and then to the other leadership as the election committee in South Africa. I suggest that we adopt it in the diaspora as all the provinces. Let's say maybe in UK, I don't know how many you are, we just do like £2 each person per month, which will be mandatory. And then in South Africa, maybe we do like 10 rand, as I said, which gives us 20,000 a month, which comes to around, I think that's 20 times 12. That will be how much? 20 times 12, 20,000 times 12, right? It gives us 240,000 a year. I don't know if it makes sense to everybody. Leadership?
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for that, Comrade Ngonyama.
Yes, thank you very much, leadership.
We may proceed to Leader Violet.
Yes.
Leader Violet.
Hello. I don't want to spend much of your time, but I wanted somebody to read the comments, please. It looks like nobody's attending to the comments.
Thank you. Mr. Martin, go ahead. Mr. Brian Murray.
Oh, okay. Thank you, leader. I've been listening to the Deputy Secretary for Elections. I mean, I'm going to be limited with my time, but I've noted a lot of issues that if they are not addressed from their side, all these funds that you are raising are going to be in vain again. Firstly, the issue of delimitation, she is, and I confidently say that, she is misinterpreting it and taking the ZANU-PF mantra. Elections are guided by ICCPR, as Leader Becky said. The basic principle of election is universal suffrage. When you are saying universal, it means everybody included. So delimitation by virtue of being a thing that is run from universal suffrage. The first thing is, even if I'm not registered, even if I'm not in the voters roll, I'm a citizen of Zimbabwe, I must be counted. So delimitation is always counting citizens as they are. Then you, if you were to read section 161, subsection 3 of the Constitution, read it following the English grammar, you will see that that is where ZANU-PF is twisting, and that is where ZANU-PF is taking advantage. The reason why they attempted to decouple the census is because we all agreed, or we were fooled to believe that elections are delimited in terms of voters. That is not correct. If you read section 161, subsection 3, correctly read with the grammar, you will find that the delimitation is done such that equal number of voters are registered. It doesn't say equal registered voters. It says equal voters are registered. So the delimitation is like a room that is created such that when we go to register, a room for equal voters, it should have been created. And that alone comes from census. It does not come from registered voters. To register to vote is a political decision where I choose to register to vote or not to vote. So you are not penalized for choosing not to register to vote. So once we accept that, to say ZEC is going to register people using the voter code, we have violated the principle of universal suffrage that is enshrined in section 3. We've violated it as well as it is enshrined in section 151, 155 of the Constitution. If I had time, I would even give a proper explanation to that. And in any case, I've even challenged the ZEC on that. I'm prepared to go and make a court application if ever they do that. It's unacceptable worldwide. It's even if you read the obligations of internet, I've read all about that. I have no time to explain that. The second matter that we are also missing in this explanation that we are having is that when we are saying diaspora vote, we don't claim diaspora vote from Zimbabwe. That is incorrect, because the vote is an inherent right that is guaranteed by not United Nations, not by Zimbabwe. So when we are talking about that, actually, let me be brief to that. On Tuesday, we are going to make a court application in Constitutional Court of South Africa. We've already engaged lawyers over that, and it's a complete thing that we've all accepted. Even the lawyers have accepted. It's a very simple thing that you are going to do that. We are even encouraging other nations after this application that you are going to do, other citizens from other countries to also adopt that. Each and every person that is outside the country, in terms of article number 2.1 of ICCPR, demands the right to vote, not from Zimbabwe, but from the territorial country, the country that is going to jurisdiction of where you stay. And if that is lacking in our national elections directorate, we are bound to be doomed. It is something that is very, very, very frightening to see that we cannot interpret the right to vote as.
Tell Mr. Murray, please round up. Unmute and round up. Mr. Murray, unmute and round up.
Hello?
Yes, unmute and round up time.
No, I mean, it's time, I'll stop.
Okay, thank you for that. Very, very important points you are raising there. Let's all feel free to contribute. I am reading what we have written in the chats, and I think most of the people who wrote something in the chat have spoken. So if you have something in the chat that you feel like has not been addressed, please raise your hand and go ahead and say it publicly for the benefit of those who can't read the chat. Let's say those who are watching on the Facebook. We would also like to acknowledge the presence of the media who are here. New Zimbabwe is with us, Voice of America is with us, and Change Radio is also with us. So thank you, members of the media. We can go ahead. I can see a hand from Ngonyama Kajuda.
That is the only. Is it a new hand or is it an old hand?
Okay, so.
Okay, leadership, noted.
Yes. Thank you. We need new hands. I can't see hands. I can see Tetwas now.
Benny, can you give Benny a chance to speak?
Benny, your hand is not raised, so we were not knowing that you want to speak. Go ahead, Mr. Benny Chofam.
I want to take everyone who's listening. Mine is a question directed to the election organizing committee. What are they doing and what are they going to do? Because timing is running out. We are now closer to 2023 election. We don't have by now a budget as we proposed maybe the beginning of the year when the spaces when we start these spaces, that can the president's office or even the MDC Alliance have an office that is going to have a budget on how much is needed for each constituency to run, maybe to the money to give for the polling agents, according to the number of polling agents or polling station in every constituency, so that whenever we are donating by now, someone can just say, I'm going to donate for my constituency. You will be knowing how much is needed and how many polling agents are going to be in his constitution, which he adapted, and how much is going to be paid. And that money, as we proposed, we don't want the way the elections were run, previous election, that the MP is the one who is donating money to the one who is paying the polling agents. We want an office or even maybe some people who are going to do something that is uniform nationwide to all polling agents, so that our vote is going to be protected. We can sponsor, but what we need is a structure or a budget that shows that we do have how many polling agents in this constitution, how many polling agents per each polling station, and how much is going to be, how much is budgeted. What are they going to do? Because by now there is nothing. We don't know nothing. We're just donating. Yes, we can donate, but let's have a focus, like the other guy was saying. How much is needed per constitution? How much is needed? We can donate. It's not a problem, but we know we want to have a budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chofamba. I hope that will be responded to in due time. Currently, we are sitting at 1,300 and something. Yeah, 1,328.88. So it means there is another donation of $100 to reach 2.5, which was suggested by Minister. We are still a long way off. So now let's go to Tetwas, then Pamire, like that.
Okay, thank you very much. First and foremost, I want to say I'm so happy with the trust that I mean we hear largely for donations, and that should be the trust. But I mean, people must not equally right. I wanted to say, I put it in the comments section. Right, it is MDC Alliance. We've always won elections from 2002. Let's never, in as much as we must invest in mobilize much in defending the vote. Because if you look at it very clearly, that is exactly where we missed it. And I said in the comment section, winning an election is one thing, taking over is another. If we are not careful, we are going to be winning elections till Jesus Christ comes into power. So we need to have a clear strategy on how to take over power. All right. Then coming to the issue of delimitation. All right. In my constituency, in the central, all right, we've got 14 ones. Out of the 14, ZANU-PF deliberately, critically, and out of intrigue, they made sure that they put 6 words that are linked to Minda to make sure that they neutralize the vote in the constituency. Their political experience lies largely through that in almost all the constituencies. So I'm saying leaders, Leader Makone and Leader Shridenga, how can we curtail this as a movement to make sure that delimitation is done in such a way that doesn't favor any particular party? Right. Then, in terms of agents, last election I was part of the campaign team for Chipinge syndrome. When we went to fetch some agents to send them some polling, you can't believe me. About 4 or 5 couldn't come. We had registered them. They come because they were trained. So I'm saying, when we look for agents, let not our party agents be driven by or attracted by money, but rather there must be people with a strong conviction to see the party getting mileage to take over power. There must be people who come in more like volunteers, but out of their volunteering, they must now get definitely tokens of appreciation from the party. So sometimes people become agents not out of the zeal to see MDC in governance, but because they're attracted by the promises. So sometimes I get disturbed when you talk about historical dates. I mean, someone who comes in as a pet agent for a party must be someone who is ready to sacrifice, someone who is ready to put in an extra effort, but out of that effort, then you get rewarded. So these are some of the slight hints and sort of slight emphasis that I wanted to put. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would like to thank Leader Ben Chofamba, who accompanied his contribution with $110 US. Thank you for that. From there, let's go to Pamira.
Thank you, leaders. I just want to add up or to contribute something maybe which can help us within the system of our elections in Zimbabwe, MDC Alliance. And I've got this, I came across this research where we do cells and branches actually according to that. So I'm requesting our leadership, if they can, when they're doing their door-to-door campaign, that we need to actually to come up with our numbers of people, let's say, our membership and those who are willing to vote for MDC Alliance to put their register, let's say, from cell 1, we put from number 1 to number 20, we put their names down. Or you use the code. Instead of their names, we say code number 1 is going to vote for us. Code number 2 is going to vote for us. Code number 3 is going to vote for us. So in that area, let's say those 20 people in that area, we know we have got 20 voters in that area. And then we go again in the area, let's say Karoi, in the one road in Karoi, we say Karoi road number 22, they are going to vote for us. So all those people in that road number 22, they are going to vote for MDC Alliance. Let's say there are 100 people in road number 22. We need to know those people. they are going to vote for us. If there are any vote rigging or vote stealing, we know number 22, row number 22, 100 people voted for us. Let's put that figure. And we go to Warren Park, let's say, for example, Warren Park Ward or branch. We have got, we do our vote canvassing and door to door. And then we know that in that area, we have got our members. But some of them are not going to vote, but we need to invest to research who are going to vote for our party. So in Warren Park, we know those 10,000 people, or let's just take a cell, 100 people, they are going to vote for MDC Alliance. So we put that into book. If anything happens, we need to find out where our 100 people, why did they not vote for us? So that means there might be a vote rigging there. So when we are going to the votes in Warren Park, we know we have got our statistics.
Leader Pamire, your time is up. Can you please go ahead to round up? Unmute and round up. Leader Pamire, can you unmute and round up? Yes, go ahead and round up.
Okay, so we need to ensure that when we've got in the polling stations, we need to know our numbers of people who are going to vote for us, and they are recorded in our records that we've got 5,000 people are going to vote in this polling station. So we need to come up with that strategy so that we know the number rather than guessing that when people are going to vote for us. We need the statistics evidence-based so that we need to get to the people and get to understand each other. So in this card, that's what I want to share with you. And I'm going to donate 50 pounds for that, or $50 for that in my donation.
Mr. Pamire, you had come out very well that you want to donate 50,000. That was woke up as well.
Sorry, $50. Next time we'll try to source that demand. Can I have the link?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Minister, over to you. Then you can push for us a bit.
Sorry to interrupt you. Can I have the link for the donation, sir?
Yes, it's coming. It's coming to you directly to your inbox as well as on the platform.
Okay, thank you.
Minister Fatwayo, over to you, so that you push for the VP to come and address us.
Sorry, before the minister comes in, can I please respond to some of the issues that were raised?
Yes, go ahead, Honorable. Straight after you, Minister.
Okay, thank you so much. You know, we always value all the input, and we are making mistakes. Yes, when we are making mistakes, at least you know, you get people out there to correct you, and so once in a while we need some reality check. Let me start off with the recommendations from Leader Pamire. Unfortunately, we could, I think if the ones, the leaders from the American province, we had a meeting with them where we outlined our strategic plan. And as for this meeting, it was more of not a strategy session, but also discussing on what we are doing as a party and not dwelling into the strategic issues. And yet, this issue that he's raising is part of our strategy, because what we've said is we need to come up with our internal voters roll as a party. And as a department, we've gone further to identify polling station point persons. So what it means is that each and every polling station, save maybe just for a few, I think we are now at around 70%. We are still working on the 30%. We've identified polling station point persons. And each and every polling station, we're going to have a person who will be responsible for these election technical issues, including, you know, the identification of our voters there. What we are going to equip these persons with polling station voters rolls, whereby those persons will be used as our voter inspections, voters for inspection centers, and also they'll be able to identify members that are registered, and also even the young people within that vicinity that need IDs, that need to be registered, so that whenever the voter registration kicks off, we already have a list of people that we intend to assist to get registered. So that issue that he's talking about is in the pipeline, and also if there are more ideas, we'll be happy to engage and also learn from their input. And also on the, I think leader is that Chet was whatever he spoke about the issue of polling agents. Yes, it's important, and this is why also we are revising our recruitment policy, because like the challenge that we've been making in the past is to promise people to say no, we will be paid so much, instead of them taking up the role of polling agents as voluntary, and also for the betterment of the party. But we've instances where some of them take that as some source of employment. So this is one area that we need to work on in terms of our recruitment policy, and also instilling that cadreship system amongst our colleagues. And then on the issue of the budget, we do have a budget where in fact it's actually an itemized budget. Unfortunately, I don't have it here with me, because I know that it's required, I could have presented, but I also did make some presentations to some of our colleagues sometime last month on our budget. And we have actually said, for example, we have actually streamlined it down to the polling station, to say each and every polling station will need around should be $263. That's the average figure for each polling station. However, we have itemized it to say, for example, for our polling agents deployment, for our training recruitment, we need so much, for our voter registration, for our campaign program, for our regalia, we've done all the itemization. So we'll gladly share with you in due course and through your structures as well. And then on the issue that was raised by Mari on universal suffrage, yes, it's very true. That's this is what we are saying. This is what our constitution dictates, to say that each and every person should be entitled to vote. Each and every eligible Zimbabwean has the right to vote. And going down to the aspect of delimitation, there's the aspect of equal suffrage, to say that each and the constituency boundaries should be determined by the equal numbers of registered voters, as opposed to what to say to the census. If I could read Article 161 of our constitution, it's very clear to say the boundaries of constituencies must be such that, so far as possible, at the time of delimitation, equal numbers of voters are registered in each constituency within Zimbabwe. So what it means is that the aspect of equal suffrage comes in. Each constituency should be determined by the equal number of voters vis-a-vis the other constituencies throughout the country. So what is important is that we get more people to register. The threshold of 27,000, which I spoke about earlier on, would go up. So this is what determines the aspect of equal suffrage. So instead, because the challenge with as much as ideally would have wanted the census figures, but then the challenge is that our constitution is clear to say no, we are using the numbers of registered voters as prescribed in Article 161. But of course, that is one area that we need to engage on. We sit down and talk to Marie and the other colleagues who feel otherwise, so that we incorporate these issues in our electoral reforms agenda. And when we fight for electoral reforms, we also include that as a key reform issue that needs to be addressed. I think.
Thank you so much. Over to you, Minister.
Oh,
for the people to speak, please.
Gibson.
This is Washington. Membership and friends that are on the call. I think our primary objective today is to fundraise. And I think that there is about 81 of us. At the last check, he checked the list of numbers, people that are here. We need to show action. We need to show by doing. And I think that even if we are to say, let's put $20 each towards our fundraising, I think with the number of people that we have here, we will be able to achieve just the goal for today. Today is our first day, and let's show by action. I'm going to go back and put my 20. And I think that those who want to speak, if you are given the mic to speak, let's just, it's fundraising. Let's make it exciting. Let's go in, put your 20, have a minute to speak, and you and pick the mic. We've got to make it exciting, guys. And at the same time, I know we've got a lot ahead of us, but it starts with us and it starts now. Thank you very much. I hand back the mic.
Thank you. A new dimension, Comrade Moderator. How are you going to treat this? There is Comrade Gibson. Are you going to be part of the $20 $20 donation for the mic?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Comrade Chofamba. I will put 50, and I need to speak. Put your 50, you will speak, Comrade Chofamba. Thank you.
Can you send the link, please? I can't see the link.
You can't see the link. Okay. Yeah, our team, can you assist? There is where is our leader here? He was raising his hand. Where is he? I can't see him.
Mr. Gibson, I think
he disappeared.
Yes, I'm here. Yes, and yeah.
You've seen the link.
Yes, I saw the link. I've donated once, but I will donate again for the mic.
For the mic. Thank you for the mic.
Okay, thank you so much, guys. I just want to greet our leaders who are here. Just want to tell you that over here in the United States, we look up to you guys and we respect you. I just had a question that I wanted one of the leaders to, if they could help us with, because this is something that is always like been bothering me, but I've got the mic now, I've got the opportunity to ask the question. So I am from Masvingo province in Mwenezi West to be particular. And over there, previously we have not had like any movement for democratic change candidate who is like competing for the elections, to such an extent that ZANU-PF over there, they tell you that once you win their primary elections, then you are automatically the next MP for that area, Mwenezi West. So I think this is one of the reasons why we are being rigged in elections. It is areas like this where our party is not actually almost like non-existent. So I just wanted to find out from our elders that what are they planning about areas such as this one? Because I think these are some areas that we need to be targeting. In Mwenezi West, where I come from, to come out to say you are an MTC member is something that is sort of scary, because of how much ZANU-PF dominates that area. So I just wanted to find out from our elders if there's something in the pipeline with regards to introducing our party in areas such as these ones. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, thank you so much. Minister, are you there?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I'm here.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, thank you very much. I was checking the chat group, the chat section, so that we know that we have addressed all the issues. Okay, if I let you good concerns, we respect them. Thank you, all leadership. Thank you for being here for close to 3 hours now, listening and discussing important issues, important for our country, important for our party, important for the movement, as we are preparing for a landslide victory of President Nelson Chamisa. I just want to assure you that we are organizing, we are preparing, and we are coordinating the people in the diaspora. There was an issue raised by Comrade Shingai Chikosha of having representatives, and I've seen in the chat section where others were saying we must have people within regions that will be assigned, or countries, to work on this very noble initiative. Fundraising, the fundraiser. We are going to do that. Representatives, we have representatives in some areas, and we are going to continue to engage, identify other representatives in other areas. So representatives are there. You can engage us in our inboxes if you don't have information of other representatives. I understand you are in the United Kingdom. I don't want to waste much of your time because we must end the program today. But I would like to call upon the Vice President of the party, Madame Karini Kore Lynette, to just greet us and encourage us. We are very much excited and humbled to have in our diaspora meeting vakuru vanongofamba nenzira kuda kuona vana vanoshanda sei. Thank you very much. She's a mobilizer. She's a leader par excellence. She is a hands-on leader and a result-oriented leader. We want to welcome you on the podium. Greet us, encourage us. Over to you, Madam Vice President.
Thank you so much, Leader Minister Tudarekanye. These people want me to start on the video. I don't think I need to go on the video.
No.
Okay, let me go. Thank you very much, Leader Sashwai. Thank you very much. Allow me to, I don't know whether Wamakon is still on this platform or what. Regarding Govaremeketa, I think he was on this platform, and Amai Shiriebenga, thank you very much for the work you are doing
and our director, thank you very, very much for coming up with this initiative, including Mainga Hama. Thank you very, very much. But allow me to thank everyone on this platform. Thank you very, very much. I didn't want to participate. I was just there to listen and also to take maybe the questions and try to analyze them and also see where we are also getting some problems and also trying to have an evaluation and also try to monitor and also try to make sure that we improve our strategies. Thank you very much for the donations. I know things are not well. You work so hard for your family, you work so hard for your relatives, but you go an extra mile to support your party. Inotungamirwa na President Vachamisa. Toda ukutenda izvichibva pasi pemoyo wangu. I really, really appreciate. Mwari wokudenga abvise pose pamabvisa. Thank you very, very, very much. I was not here to maybe give a closing or a welcome or any remarks, but I just decided to support Vasakwayo and the team, Makoni, Mainga Hama, and all the people behind the scene. Kuti Isus as leadership, we really appreciate. As leadership, we don't take this for granted because even $1 from your own pocket towards change. So, thank you very, very much. I know the president is always pamberi to do the work and all other leaders, but imimi your efforts and an extra mile because you cannot go and run an election without resources. You cannot go and win an election without the polling agents. You cannot go and win the election without these reforms. You cannot go and win election without you supporting the new Zimbabwe. So thank you very, very much. And I'm so happy because our elections department is doing a lot. They are doing a lot. And I was very, very happy to hear Leader Ellen mention the issue about the assisted voter. And she knows very well that I'm very, very passionate on that. And I was saying to myself, if we had about more than 200,000 assisted voters, those voters were not ZANU-PF voters. They were our voters. Those people were supposed to vote for Advocate Nelson Chamisa. So let's try by all means to make sure that we close all those gaps, to make sure that come 2023, we will win the elections. So I really want to appreciate, and I will say, yes, we also need to move, we also need to do an extra mile. We are going to take everything which you have suggested to make sure that we also help each other. Organizing department, elections, all those departments, women, youth, to make sure that when we do the voter education and when we do the recruitment and when we do the mobilization, put into action to make sure that we also win the next election. And I want to assure you that we are going to make sure that these donations are going to be accountable. We are going to make sure that every cent will be accounted for. We are going to make sure that the process will be transparent, and we are going to make sure that like what you have already done, people know and also people know that visa zvoda kuenda kunoitei izvozvo zvese tinokutendai nekuti haizi nyore kuti chinhu chawabvisa chinofanira kuzikanwa kuti chaenda kupi. And I want to thank you so much with your families, and I would like to wish you Christmas kakanaka nekuti vari diaspora. I think pamwe Christmas kenyu kanenge kari nani, not for us vari kumusha, and ndoda kukutendai. ndoti Mwari wekudenga akuchengetei and Mwari aramba achikuprotectai kune COVID kune zvimwe zvirwere, so that everyone anoita play his or her part kuti tite make sure that we deliver come election. Thank you very much, Leader Sahlayo and your team. I really want to thank you so much with your time. Thank you.
Yeah, siyabonga Mama Kakore. Siyabonga kakhulu is a leader who is always available. Is a leader who is always present to deal with issues of the people. We thank you, our VP, the people's VP. Our vote of thanks today is going to come from Middle East, from Comrade Chamunoda. He is going to give us a vote of thanks. But before it comes, I want to say thank you, leaders, thank you, comrades, thank you, citizens, for heeding our call that we must join hands and start focused resource mobilization. I must assure you that we are going to purchase what we have agreed here. We've agreed a printer, multi-purpose printer. We've agreed on a PA system, mobilization PA system. So the target has been set by the technocrats who were working on the figures and the quotations. So we need to continue with the fundraiser. Let's continue, let's spread it. Let's make sure that we encourage others, probably who are not here on this platform, to make contributions so that we hit the target. I'm expecting that mid next year, mid January next year, we must be able to have our things in place. We pray that COVID will not disturb us, but mid January, our first PA system must be there. The multi-purpose printer for our flyers, for our campaign materials will be there. So let's continue with the fundraiser. Let's spread it and encourage others to do so. Our next Saturday or next weekend, we're not meeting. We're breaking for 2 weeks. We'll meet again in 2022. God bless you. God bless Zimbabwe. Over to our comrade from Middle East to give a vote of thanks, and after that, our moderator for the closing prayer from our pastors.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Clifford Social. I've just been given a responsibility which I'm not very good at. You know, I'm not a good speaker. I'm just going to represent our chairman from the Middle East here called David Nyagoka. He was the one who was supposed to give us the vote of thanks, but because of some work commitments, he could not make himself available. So, but first thing that I would want to say is thank you very much for, I want to give most thanks to our guest team. Here I'm talking about the policy guests, the Honorable Mainga, I think is still around with this presentation, and also the election guests, that is Chancellor Makon, and also Mama Shiredenga. They have managed to present some very good stuff here, and some of us, we are now aware of what is happening with the leadership. That was a very good opportunity for us. Also, thank you to all the members who have given some contributions, who have actually raised some important issues. I'm very happy now that the leadership was here listening to us. This is something that also motivates us, that our inputs are being received by our leaders. It actually motivates us. I know most people usually tell me that when we discuss issues about elections, rigging, all these strategies, people will tell me that, who is going to listen to you, Chamnoda? Why can't you just shut up? They always say that. But now it has been made very clear that whatever we say reaches leadership. And I've been telling them that we are well networked, we are connected, and I always invited some. And I'm sure those that I've invited today, some of them were part of this meeting. They've actually clearly heard it from the horse's mouth. Thank you for that. Also, thanks to Chief Sose. His contributions, I think, is one of the first people to give us some money from our donations. I just want to encourage everyone that even though now we are going to break for another meeting, but the link is available, we can still donate. Let's please share it with other friends. I'm sure that each one of us has got his own people in his cycles. Please share with them, encourage them to put a $10, $1, every money counts. If we have resources, if we have more resources, I'm very sure that we'll be ready for taking over in 2023. So with all this, I'm saying to every one of us who has participated in this meeting, thanks for your time. I know you were very busy, you had a lot of commitment, but you managed to give yourself time to be with us here. I thank you so much. May God bless you until we meet again. I wish you a Merry Christmas and also a Happy New Year. With this, I say thank you, and over to you, Mr. Leader Zico, the moderator.
Thank you, Leader Chamu. I hear that we are not supposed to close before we reach a 2K. So it seems like we are left with the 100.
Mepoesha ndoko yasimuka yakatangira kuMalawi takaiona paZambia ndaona yawambuka Zambezi. Mepoesha ndoko yasimuka yakatangira kuMalawi takaiona paZambia ndaona yawambuka ngapinde ake mukomana ngapinde ake mukomana ngapinde ake mukomana ngapinde ake mukomana ngapinde vaitaura zvemapulekiswe havana kuzvisisa zvaitaura vava kunonoda mapulesi 45 degrees dzemabara vaitaura zvemapulekiswe havana kuzvisisa zvaitaura vava kunona matidza maspika pazvitima zvasimika ngapinde ake mukomana ngapinde ake mukomana ngapinde ake mukomana ngapinde ake mukomana ngapinde vanotinyepera nyaya dzemasanctions tichiona nyika ichiurava nezvemurutu saka tichitika ngapinde kumisa zvese zveuori vanoti nyika yaurawa nemasanctions tinoti nyika yaurawa necorruption saka tatika ngapinde ake mukomana 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 ngapinde vana tetio vatoriwe navo